Well, guys, it finally happened. Somebody got the Tier 4 channel membership to get me to cast a 10v10. A channel first in about 3 years of Warno operation. So here we are in 10v10. But first, we'll go through the deck review. Right, so this is the deck review for X3, playing as 24th US in 10v10. Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, what can I say? 24th, not a great division, but it is what it is. So, I'm not sure what to say, really. I mean, so yeah, bring in the fob, that makes sense, because it's 10v10, so you might as well bring the fob. 4 RT pieces in 10v10 is sensible. Not sure what happened there. So that makes sense. Like a heli supply to bring stuff to and from the fob to the front line can make sense. The only issue is this heli kind of sucks. But you don't have another one, right? It's slow and it doesn't carry that much supply. The question is, will this decant into this? I don't even know if it will, because they have the same total supply. There's no way around it, though. This has more. So, yeah. CVs, I mean, I wouldn't bother with the car one. Like, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? Why have you got that? To help your team by being faster. Don't worry about them. Get this, you can buy 2 at the start for the same price, and then help your team more. So in terms of like, I mean, bringing the flash, that can make sense. I would be at least one vetting these things. You can leave the flash at no vet if you want, just so you can spam it out in the forests. The map is Geisa, right? So kind of makes sense. Why would you bring this one instead of the 3 per card one? 6 HP, 3 per card with AT. This doesn't have AT. I appreciate it's a bigger squad, but it's better to have 3 per card, personally. Get it in the car so I can get there nice and fast. And then not getting the... this is the most cost-effective infantry in the game, right? 4 guys for 10 points, that's 2.5 points per guy. What's this? 6 guys for 40. You know, it's a lot more. So you really do want this. What do you swap out for it? I don't know. Get rid of this, maybe. And then you can bring these. Actually, pretty useful piece of kit. You want the self-propelled mortars for smoke, because you're going to get counter-batteried a lot. So you need to move your artillery after it shoots. You can bring another card of these. Honestly, you should be bringing the CEV. It's very, very, very useful. Very, very useful. What can we get rid of? Okay, well, the napalm plane ain't going to do you any good, I can tell you that much. So... can get the CEV, super useful against people. This, I mean, okay, but, like, why? This has better stealth with the same missile. Costs less. And this has a tow too. So you want one of these two, basically. Whichever one you want. I prefer this one. I see a lot of people bringing this one for the tow too. So if you want I-tows, with, this is an I-tow. And admittedly, these are tow twos, which is why I bring the car one, because it's, it's got good stealth and it's fast, although that's more of a 1v1 thing, right? Yeah, I mean, okay. In 1v1 you'd bring these, but you're not in a 1v1, so... Honestly, I wish I could be more helpful, but, like, it's 10v10. So something like this probably is just going to die immediately as soon as you use it. This can be nice just in case, the enemy gets a light breakthrough, you can do something, but this will just immediately die. And so I personally would prefer to just have 2 more fighters instead of this, and the fighters can cover your stuff. Because, yeah, if you use this, it's just going to die. Anyway, yeah, 10v10, I mean, it's similar in some ways, but you do have to bring lots of AA, so I actually agree with the 10 chappies. And honestly, I'd swap this out for the fans. I know I want to use the Strike Eagle, it's going to die as soon as you use it, because... it's NATO versus Pact, and you're in a 10v10, so you're going to get shot at by, what, 40 cubs, so... it's not ideal, it's not ideal. Let's get back to the game. Right, so with that out of the way, as you can see, the strategic mind of the 10v10 is truly something to behold. Our journey begins 10 minutes into the game. Oh, well, that's more like 6 minutes, really. Where we have, yes, a big conga line of Bradleys. So we got what? Let's count them. 5, 6, 7, 8. So 10 Fireteam Dragon in Bradleys, right? 9 Fireteam Law in Bradleys, and 5 Chaparrals in Bradleys. I've also been told that X3 here, that's who this is, teamed up with Mizo, and Mizo has supplemented his friend's. Let me just find it in here. There we go. Supplemented his friend's attack by buying 2 artillery. What a great friend! And 3 M1A1s and 4 Bradleys. And where, pray tell, are they going on their epic adventure? They're going straight into the forest with all those Bradleys. So no CEVs, no recon, no flash, just a bunch of Bradleys, an Abrams, 2 artillery pieces, and honestly, truly, the strategic might of the 10v10 player is something to behold, something truly inspirational. So let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One joined at the lowest levels with 2,000 views in ad revenue equivalents. It's probably more now, actually. The ad revenue keeps going down. Real, recession indicator there. So, yeah, 10v10, I see a lot of people saying, like, oh, I just play against the AI because, I'm not good enough for 10v10. Well, that doesn't seem to stop most of the 10v10 players, so I don't see why it would stop you. These guys have just been AFK for the first 5 minutes of the game, right? And the enemy's only on a +1. Generally, 10v10 is just where you go just to chill out, try new things. Like, if you're not an experienced player, 10v10's for you. All you really got to do is... So you see that the worst players aren't the players who say, I'm bad. The worst players are the players who are like, I'm amazing, right? Because they lack the capability to actually understand that they're bad. And I'm not saying that applies to our protagonist here. It probably doesn't. But what I mean is, if you're one of these guys who's like, I'm not good enough for 10v10, chances are you're a lot better than the average 10v10 player. Like, you can just be AFK for a game and then win. I don't think this is command and control mode. But yeah, so we got the, the Mega Bradley Blob attack. At least he brought some Chaparrals, right? And the CV. So yeah, the best place to attack would be in the open, which on Geisa isn't so easy, right? There's not much open. I suppose here would be the best place to attack, with here being a solid second best. But instead, they're all going to unload here in just a fit of strategic brilliance. The AA is not going to follow them. And now they're all going to walk into this forest. So, like I said, and now he's going... Do not despair if you think you're not good enough for 10v10. So, yeah, looking at... So, Mizo's tanks have showed up. I suppose some of them have ended up here, right? So this is probably the better place to be for this composition. I mean, if you were planning on just going into the forest like this, you'd want the, the flash and stuff. The Bradleys aren't going to help you out too much in the forests. Chances are... That's an interesting sound. It's one of the new Lufty-Landy divisions. It's got its own sound on the gun. Don't know where it comes from, but... So yeah, chances are... you're just going to get... If you blob like this in 10v10, you're just going to get hit by like an RM-70 or an Su-24 high-altitude bomber, or Mirage 4 or something. Yeah, what can I say? This should be very motivating to you. You should be there like, I can do this. So, therefore, multiplayer is my oyster. If you're spending your points and going towards the middle of the map, you're good basically in 10v10. So yeah, you really don't want to be blobbing, right? Because one RPG and they all get suppressed, one bomber and they all die. So a quick head count here, so that's 18 Bradleys backed up by 19 infantry, right, because of the CV. They are spreading out a little bit now, but as you can also see, that the Bradleys go a lot faster than the infantry, so you really do have to be careful. Red sitting on that cheeky +6, but so if they, so this is a +1, so I'd take it to +5, and then this is a +2, which would, if they fully cap it, would be they'd only be on a +1 after that. So I'm waiting for the arty. There it is. There's some arty. So we got some arty coming in here. RM70s. Looks like he's missed though. Looks like he's missing. Underestimated the willpower of the Bradley. So like, very few of these guys actually have AT. Like this Vac Outlever has it. Maybe the Führer has it. No, he doesn't. So yeah, some Bradleys have perished, but most of them are still there. Most of them are still there. And yeah, here we go. So the cluster's coming in. So next time you're like, I'm not good enough for 10v10, think back to this moment. Reminds me of certain real life events, which we won't reference it. And that wasn't even the good one, right? That was the Su-22. A lot of the wrecks will get destroyed by that now. But so yeah, don't despair, and also don't blob. Don't blob. Truly inspirational, I know. But yes, this is it's like Twilight Zone, right? You got to look into the twisted mind of the 10v10 player. So now we got the same thing happening with the infantry. Lessons have not been learned. So now we're blobbing with the infantry as well. The SVO's coming in. Would have thought there'd be some arty coming in, but I suppose the speed at which they're moving, although the infantry's obviously going a lot slower than the other stuff. So yeah, this is the Hollywood approach to war, right? Everybody just kind of stood around. It's like that scene from 1917, where he has to run across the trench line to try and stop the attack. Truly inspirational. So, yeah, I mean, he's getting somewhere. He's actually taking the zone. It's the sheer quantity of crap. You'll notice he's got some friends here, this Niar person, the commandos. And yeah, ultimately it's just a case of, well, look, if you put this many guns on the target, you are going to kill what's in front of you. It's just, this is 10 minutes income, right? So, oh, here comes the RM70. I was wondering how long that'd take. And yeah, so the bullets are just clipping through the mountainside there, but you can see everybody's just sort of dying. This thing doesn't work properly, so that's not too helpful. The main thing you got to look at is the fact that there were 19 units there. You include the commandos, 20, 21, 22. These guys were already counted, so yeah, there were 19 units. And now there are 11, and they're all like 1 HP, 2 HP. You hate to see it, but hopefully it's having the right effect, right? So, number one, you should be like, I shouldn't bail out, right? Number two, you should be like, I am good enough for 10v10. And number three, don't blob. Obviously, do not blob. So could you imagine if he had like a couple flash in there, a couple CEVs? Could you imagine if he actually brought the artillery with his push? you know, all of those Bradleys that died in one hit, they'd all still be alive, right? Look at this. Yeah, there's a lot of dead Bradleys there. But, you know, when it was all said and done, he did actually take the zone. So, there you go. Contributing big to the team. Let's check in on his friend. What was his name? Mizo. And he's managed to take this zone back with something more approaching a combined arms force, right? So he's got the CV, he's got the Bradley, he had the tanks, they all died, he's got some flash, you know, stuff like that. So a bit more combined arms there, right? Obviously the incredible, what the fuck? The incredible double cluster. Which in 10v10 can make sense. This player's done a good job, this Korean bloke. He's managed to get into here. Admittedly, you know, if those guys were here, then they probably wouldn't have lost the zone, but it is what it is. You gotta set your own objectives when you play 10v10, right? You get games where, you know, people just surrender as soon as the game starts. That basically happens every time. At least one person will just surrender. Either their PC is not good enough or what. Yeah. This is still going, sort of. I mean, it's mainly other people's units now. There's a Wacky Taco person, there's a Nyar person. Most of the fire teams are dead. SU-25HE is garbage, you shouldn't bring that. It's really not very good. It has to fly slowly over the target, so it should die to the AA, of course. You know, the blue team have left the AA back here. Symbolic AA gesture, basically. And, yeah, we were talking about, you know, should you bring the Strike Eagle? Well, as you can see, usually not such a great idea to bring bombers in 10v10, because there is a mere 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 AA pieces in this very small stretch of ground. Absolutely wild. 10v10 really is something, you know. If you're like really tired or something and you're like, I just want to chill, 10v10, it can work because it doesn't really, like, you know, you can play the best game ever and your team can still lose, or you can play like crap and your team can still win. And some people absolutely hate that, right? Some people can't stand it. I'm one of those people. But for a lot of people, that's actually a good thing because they don't want to. They don't like the responsibility, right? They just want to chill and take credit for the actions of others and blame others if something goes wrong. So, you know, Red, they've sort of pseudo-recovered from their crazy run-in with the madman with the Bradley spam. And they've basically killed all the Bradleys, right? I mean, all the Bradleys are definitely dead, and then all the infantry is basically useless, right? They've a bunch of half squads here. It's more than that supply, essentially. And I'm not sure what was really... Okay, so an Apache was purchased. Isn't that just going to die to the small arms fire? No, because most of them are dead. But yeah, I mean, the game runs, right? If you think about Broken Arrow's whole game, 5v5, has like this many units in the whole game. Right? Because each player gets about 7 units. Obviously it's more if you just buy BMP1s or whatever, but it's like, it's less than 20. And usually it's closer to 10. Whereas if you look here, you know, there's each row is 9. So, I mean, the game's lagging a lot when I do this, but... So, each row is 9. And how many rows are there? I can't even score to 1. Oh man, this is going to be tough too. What's happening there? Right. 1, 2, 3. When I scroll up, is it replacing the whole row or just the top row? It's replacing the whole row. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48, 51, 54, 57, 60, 62, and like more has been purchased and some have died and stuff, right? So call it 63. 63 times 9. I'll get a calculator out for that one. There are 567 units on the map. Approximately, right? And it works, right? It works. I'm recording in 4K and I've got 30 FPS while zoomed out. Of course, when you zoom in, FPS goes up a lot because you're only looking at some stuff, right? Looking at fewer things. And so, and yeah, the game looks better, it runs better. For some reason, Broken Arrow sold more. And the reasons are, number one, marketing. People buy what you tell them to buy, ultimately. Well, I mean, that's the reason the review score's so low on Broken Arrow. They basically conned people into buying it by saying it was better than it was, right? That is what a low review score is, because if you... It's the difference between expectation and reality, because if you knew... A lot of people, sort of including myself, for the channel I guess I have to cover it, right? And I did buy it. They said they sent me a key, but they sent it me like 4 days late after I asked them about it, so I'd already bought it at that point. So yeah, marketing. And yeah, the difference between expectations and reality. So if you know it's going to be X, and you go in and it is X, well then you're not going to leave a negative review because it was exactly what you expected. Whereas if they, you know, if you didn't like, if you had the whole information going in and you knew it was going to be like it was, then you wouldn't have bought the game if you didn't like it, right? So there would be no reason for you to leave a negative review because you hadn't bought the game. So every negative review is basically a customer who has been missold something. Of course, you know, there are people who don't really have legitimate grievances, but for the most part, it's just expectations meeting reality. So I gotta tell you, you know, in these 1v1s, sorry, in these 10v10s, Luftyland is actually a really nice div, because you get these mega squads and, you know, you can just go through the forest killing everybody with your mega squads. Now, having said that, it is better to have something like Spetsnaz, but I mean, what the fuck is this? The classic 11v1 there. So yeah, the first reason it sold better is marketing. The second is having fewer units makes it more accessible, right? You're not allowed to use the word easy because people get upset. You have to use the word accessible. A lot of players who play Broken Arrow haven't played any other RTS games, or they haven't played one for a very, very long time, right? They come from shooters, they come from, you know, the streets, as it were. So they're not clued in on strategy games, and only having, you know, 5 units to control. Okay, 7 I think is a more reasonable. If you buy all like the top tier stuff, it's like 5 to 7 units, right? If you buy all the bottom tier stuff, you can push 20, I think. Yeah, it's easier for them, right? Now, of course, it's hard to get them to admit to that because people don't like being told that they're bad or something. So. Sort of standard human psychology there. Oh, that's going to be beautiful. See how many guys he got there? Sadly, this is a lie, but if you recall, it was an 11v1, and now there's 3 of them left out of that block, so he killed a good 7, 8 units. Wow, this thing's actually doing something. So yeah, I mean, Blue, they're sort of winning now, right? I mean, they pushed this. They push this, and they're on a +3. The forest fight continues. And yeah, don't get peer pressured into not trying 10v10. Just try it, and if somebody's giving you shit, just mute them on the right. You don't have to argue with them. People who take 10v10 seriously are clowns, basically, and they deserve to be mocked. So, hopefully after, you know, seeing some of these epic plays, you'll understand that there's nothing wrong with just trying a 10v10. You will almost, if you're just spending your points, go into the middle, you're already ahead, you're already above average. There's so many people who just buy artillery the whole game and just sit there for the whole game, just clicking on the middle, watching the fireworks. Or they'll like deploy all their guys here and then walk the mid while everybody else is dying. It really is something. And you know, if you're feeling bad about yourself, you know, you're like, oh, I'm not that smart. I've wasted my life. I wish I was smarter. Just go play in a 10v10. And then you're like, oh my god, I need to pray immediately. Thank God that I'm not as dumb as some of these people. Truly I am among the fortunate. Truly I have been blessed. Do you know what I mean? So, X3's built up his next blob, featuring the survivors of the last blob. Just try and get a player cam here so we can see who's who. So he does have flash, he's just chosen not to put them where he needs them, which is in the depths of the forest. Massed flash in forest is very, very powerful because, so like these Pioneer Flam, they take, okay, well that's a suppressed one, so that's not helpful. Well, the aim time's about 4 seconds. The aim time of this is 2, so if they run into each other, the flash will shoot, right? Now you'll notice that, okay, it says it has a motion accuracy, that's just because the game is broken. This one actually doesn't. They both have to be stood still to shoot. So the so whoever makes who move first wins the fight, because then the other guy just can't use his thing. So I used to be very anti-flash, but as I've been playing the game, because the engineers with the satchels are easier to use because they're a 10-man squad, right? And they're cheaper and more plentiful, so they are easier to use. But if you can micro these 5-man flash squads, it's very, very effective. It's just you got to pay attention because if they get caught out, they do just die, right? If you run them across the open, you do just die. So you got to be careful. Basically, you have to always keep them with a regular squad, regular line infantry squad, and they go first. But yeah, I'm wondering where all the points have gone. I suppose Bradley's are kind of expensive, and 10v10 is it's like 0.75 income by default. And if you go tactical, back to this thing about marketing, right? You can't just call it noob mode. You can't call it retard mode. You know, you can't call it easier. It has to be accessible. And in the same vein, tactical is they just give you less stuff, so it's easier to control. But yeah, a lot of things, it's all about presentation, and certainly I could be doing a better job of that, right? I could be just glazing this guy the whole game instead of laughing when all this stuff dies. Look, it's still there. Please don't do this in your games, guys. Just spread them out. I mean, they shouldn't even be there. Bradley's in a deep forest. I mean, you can have like a couple down here, you know, shooting down the road, maybe moving up a little bit, but generally you don't want the IFVs in the forest because they're not going to do too much. Now, admittedly, there are strats where you get like T-72s like this one, the T-72M, and you just kind of go put those in the forest, and you know the enemy, like especially something like this. Well, this is a Dragon 1, so yeah. But something like this as well, basically all of this, if it ran into a T-72, they'd all shoot at it. And I suppose with this many you'd probably kill it, but if you only had 2, like this would deal 1 damage per hit to its front armor, so you wouldn't actually be able to kill it with 2, even if you hit every single shot, which you're not going to do. And, you know, you might route it or whatever, but it's not going to die, and it will shoot you in the meantime. So there is still a case to be made for, because you get these people, right, and they're like, T-72s are bad because Leopard 1's beat them. T-55s are bad because Leopard 1's beat them. And then you get like an APS thing there. What the hell happened there? Because Leopard 1's beat them. And then the same person said to me the next week, T-72s are too strong in forests, I can't kill them with infantry AT, they need to buff infantry AT. And it's like, do you not understand? Can you not link those two things together in your brain? You know, yes, the tank is worse in the open, but it is better at close range, and that is the whole point of the tank, and that's what makes it different to the other tanks, the NATO tanks. I don't know, some people, they just don't have it. Probably a 10v10 player. Anyway, you really don't want to be blobbing like this. If this guy was actually here, right, with his fully reloaded RM70, this would all just be constantly getting hit. Especially if you bring in something like the burrito, or the, or the coffin launchers, right? So, like, let's say you wanted to play an American div in the town, on Geisa, in the forest. You would play 9th US, because they get really nice forest fighting infantry. Right? They do get the flash, and they get the coffin launchers, which, like, I don't see any in the whole game. And surely there must be some somewhere. Somebody must be smart enough to bring them. What are the divs? So we got no Rugener, no Polish divs on Red 4. And on Blue 4 we've not got a single 9th US, which is the only NATO div to get coffin launches. So yes, be thankful, be thankful. God made you, and trust me, it could be worse. But yeah, they, you know, a lot of them still do have decent supporting assets. So like 3rd Armoured, I think, is NATO's best 10v10 div, because it gets the heaviest tanks and these cluster things. Don't bring the HE ones, but these cluster ones are good. But like 9th US also gets those. So 9th US on this map is like the best div in the game on this map, in my opinion. Well, actually, it's like the Polish Airborne Marine in this forest with the triple flamethrowers. That'd be really, really good. And they get 3 coffin launchers. 4th Polish gets like 12 or something, or it might be like 8. Depends how many they want to bring. So the thing is, past 3, or even past 2, it gets really hard to use them properly because you need a target. And you need, and it has a 60-second reload, and you know, the aim time and stuff. It can be hard to micro too many of them. So 4's enough, really. So yeah, 9th US. And yeah, the blob capacity is really subpar. And there, still on board. A little bit of freeze there. If I select too many units, it doesn't like that apparently. But yeah, it'd be cool to get more NATO divs with the coffin launchers. So yes, that was truly inspirational. Truly, truly inspirational. Now, there was something... it's given me the wrong person, I think. Well, I'll... No, it hasn't. This is X3, right? Now look at that. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17 died to 1 Su-22. Which is not the high altitude one, it's the worst one. And then 2 RM70s killed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 infantry. So don't blob. But yeah, I mean, it was quite funny to watch in a kind of like, what do they call it, Schadenfreude kind of way. But yeah, you know, if you're like, well, I'm not so good at the game. I mean, you saw like basically everybody in that game was like just blobbing, mega blobbing, right? This person, we saw the T-34 Conga line. So don't feel like you can't just give it a go, and you might have some fun, right? It's for fun. It's for fun. Remember to have fun. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. GG.